Welcome, everyone, to the second panel of the first day of Nantucket by Design. Thought I'd start it out with a tongue twister. Why not? I can't believe we are finally here. It's a culmination of a lot of hard work of a lot of people. And in this case, if we dream it, they will come. And if you're me, if you stalk your fashion icons long enough, they finally cave and show up on island. So I'm grateful for that. In all seriousness, this panel is a dream team of designers in fashion, life, and sisterhood. And I am so grateful that they are here to share their stories. Some of them flew from across the country to get here, and we're, again, from other countries, and we're just so grateful. So just really quick, we want to say thank you to our presenting sponsors, William Ravis and Woodmeister. Always so grateful for you as well for making all of this happen. And to our wonderful panel sponsors, The Vault, Item, and 10 Easy Street. And without further ado, I would like to introduce Elisa from Elle Decor, and she can take it from here. And enjoy, everyone.
Well, and we should go around and say, this is JJ Martin, Veronica Beard, and Silvia Furmanovich. So, and maybe we should explain actually first where each of you arrived from, since there were a lot of travels to get here. Do you want to go first? Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Marla. Hi, Elisa.
Hi.
Lisa and I used to work together at Harper's Bazaar a million years ago. So
Not a million years ago, like
okay,
4
right,
years
right,
ago.
right.
We're so
Yeah,
young.
like last week.
Last week.
Yesterday.
Yeah, we just worked there.
We just worked. I flew in from Milan. I've been living in Italy for 24 years. That's why I say it's been a long journey. I used to live in New York. I grew up in Pacific Palisades. And I'm so happy to be here. It's my second time in Nantucket, and this is a magical, mystical land that already I'm just feeling the beauty and the high frequencies of. So happy to be here and to meet Veronica. Woo! And Silvia.
I'm Veronica, and I came from Cliff Road. And I am so lucky to be able to spend so much time here. I love Nantucket. I'm like getting emotional. I don't know why, because I always, whenever I speak, I get emotional on these panels. But it is such a special place that my family and I have enjoyed now this is our 8th summer here. We bought our house right before COVID and opened our store in 2020. And I just love this community and everything about this island, and it is an inspiration to me daily.
And Silvia.
I'm Silvia Furmanovich. I flew from Brazil, from São Paulo, and I'm very happy to be here. It's my 4th time. The first time was 2019, and this is my favorite place to be. I love here because it's nature, and the beaches are beautiful. The people are very nice. And yesterday I had an experience on the beach, which was so Nantucket. Me and Andre, my son Andre, I was walking on the beach. I did my meditations, my daily meditations. And when I came back after an hour, we took our bicycle that we left at the entrance of the beach. And on the basket of the bicycle was 4 flowers. And Andre's bicycle and my bicycle. There are other bicycles there. And this was so symbolic for me, to be granted with flowers. It was a magic experience. And this is like the essence of Nantucket.
So, well, also, I just want to say this is probably the best dressed audience I've ever spoken in front of. So everyone did very well. I love Nantucket style. It's really unique. And I just wanted to know a little bit more about what inspires you each about this island. You've sort of mentioned, I know some of you are, JJ's newer to discovering it, and some have long history, but it's a very unusual place. There's really nothing else like it. So if you want to explain a little about what you bring to your own design work from the island.
Whenever I'm here for the summer, I get so inspired. creatively, but I also, for us, our constant conversation as a brand is our customer. And we are obsessed with what our customer is doing, how she's living, what she needs. And I think for me here, what I love is just observing how women live in these like quieter, more relaxed moments. And obviously there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of socializing, but going between sort of, waking up and being with your family or your friends and, exercise and beach and lunch and, going out. And there's so many different periods of your day that you experience here. So the creative process for me here is rooted around the customer. We joke that I'm like the assistant manager at our store because I'm there.
And the
every
store
day.
is right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that they would rather that I was not the assistant manager, but I really love to be there just to be with the product and be with the customer and see what people are reacting to and what they're not. And that informs so much of what Veronica, so there's two Veronica.
Here's the store. You can see
there's
it,
our
and it
store.
has the little, very distinct Nantucket look.
So cute.
It's so cute. And just so that you all know, there are two Veronica Beards. My sister-in-law is my business partner. She's the brunette, I'm the blonde. She's not here because she's doing other
Do you
things.
have it in your contracts that you can never switch, like nobody can ever
Originally,
go
we're
both blonde or
and then
both brunette?
She went back to her natural color. But anyway, so it's very inspirational here for me.
And then JJ, you also were sort of in your pop-up yesterday, interacting with everybody that came through as well. Was there anything
It was
that surprised
amazing.
you?
It was an incredible welcome. I was blown away. I think probably, though, what I'm most inspired by here is whenever I'm traveling now, I'm really interested in healers. I'm interested in the locals that live here and that are wisdom carriers and who are passing on the knowledge of the ancestors as well as the sacredness of the land. So at Double J, we sell clothing, we sell homeware. It's actually just all kind of a ruse for me to get out the message about consciousness. And so
JJ is basically a healer and yoga guru herself, if you don't know that already.
So we have a community called the Sisterhood, and everyone is welcome. It's a gender-free. Every gender is welcome. Animals are welcome. We are all welcome. The idea is just actually honoring the sacred feminine, which we were just talking about, and being sisterly in that. So what we do is we connect, we share, we support both the members of the sisterhood as well as mainly a lot of healers and teachers that are teaching people how to raise their vibration. That's our company mission. And so we go out and, sometimes you might be able to raise your vibration just by purchasing an incredible jewel or coming into your beautiful shop and it's gorgeous, or one of the prints that we're known for the tabletop or for the clothing. But my real goal is to help people to find other ways to raise their vibration. There's so many different ways you can do that. And we were lucky enough in Nantucket, thanks to Marla and her contacts, putting us in touch with an incredible woman you all need to meet called Holly and her crew of other healers and teachers. We just did 2 days of womb cleansing, chakra activation, breath work, meditating, an incredible yoga session this morning. There's so many different ways for all of us to broaden and open and expand our consciousness, and that's what I'm most curious about, and this island has it. You guys have all of this at your fingertips, and so...
Which I think is such an interesting side of Nantucket that I personally did not know, that there were this many, resources for like sort of wellness and consciousness here. I think people
really
have,
is.
a specific idea of Nantucket, and really it's so much more expansive. And you were able to tap into that.
Yeah, and it was so cool
Yeah.
because Holly, the one who was really helping us wrangle a lot of these healers, she was talking about how yesterday, I don't know if you guys know this, but it was the anniversary of the fire from the 1800s. And she was also talking about how Nantucket's whaling history, and this may sound harsh, but she was like, it went from an island of killers to an island of healers. And isn't that beautiful? Like that our consciousness is raising and we're all moving from that distorted sort of aggression and really understanding that like as human beings, all we want is connection, all we want is love, all we want is to like tap into our higher selves and freaking share it with the world. So
And that's sort of what you were experiencing on the beach, it sounds like.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are in the same vibration.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I also, since you, I was curious if you wanted to explain a little bit about your design process and how you create, Silvia creates incredibly special collectible pieces. And I wanted to, if you can explain a little bit about your background and the pieces that you make.
Okay, I'm very in tune what you just said, because I think in my life from now on, I of course in the past I was struggling for life, but now I really want to dedicate myself with people and nature, and this is my source of inspiration about my trips that I travel all over the world, and I work with artisans from all over the world with special techniques that I adapt to my jewelry. And this is incredible because to be in nature and to be with people that does something with the hands, for me this is the value of the jewelry. And I put value in this of how we can contribute socially.
And here are some of the pieces appearing behind these
Socially,
incredibly intricate.
With people that make this beautiful work. I cannot take the merit only just for myself. I think we are a community, a group that work together and show the world how we can master a craftsmanship. Like in India, I do miniature painting. In Brazil, I do marquetry. And this work, this main technique that I work is made in Amazonia forest, where I just know that you have been there in Acre. There's a place nobody goes from, the Brazilians don't go, and you have been there also with the
Just from Brazil to Nantucket. No.
Yeah.
It's an easy trip, guys.
So I think this is the sort. I have been doing this for the last 25 years. We are family business. I work with my 3 sons. And I'm very happy to be here to share my story with you and to be inspired by this beautiful environment, this beautiful island that is very, very protected, very essential to the soul. You know, you feel that. And whenever I step, I feel that wind when I arrived in the plane, when I was in the airport, I felt that wind, I felt the connection. So I'm very happy. Thank you.
And everything that you're saying brings me to ask about the other work that you all do through your design work. I know that you've sort of touched on it. Obviously, there are these deeper goals, but it is interesting, I think, what sort of good design can bring to the world. And I know that you both and each of you have initiatives that you engage with. So Veronica, I don't know if you wanted to explain first about your foundation.
So we have Veronica Beard Gives Back, which is started by Allison Aston. On, I think it was year 5, Al, right? And we, like any business, we were sort of couldn't believe that we'd actually made it this far, and
I'm sure you can all relate to that.
And we really
it looks easy, but it's not so easy.
No. And we just really felt compelled to pay it forward and to give back and to give other women a platform to talk about their own businesses or their initiatives that they're involved in. And so we started Veronica Beard Gives Back. It's now a quarterly program where we give a percentage of sales every quarter to the organization that we're working with. Right now we're working with the CFDA in the Council of Fashion Designers of America in New York. And we've given 4 scholarships to rising seniors in design school. And it's such a full circle moment to be going through this experience with these 4 students because it feels like I was at Parsons a minute ago, and just that early, twinkle in your eye, and the world is sort of terrifying, and the world is your oyster at the same time. It's a beautiful thing to witness this with this group. But VBGB has really been like the backbone of our community. How we
Wait, you have to say that 10 times fast. VBGB. Okay.
Veronica Beard Gives Back
Yeah.
has become really like the heartbeat of our brand. It's all of our store activations revolve around it. It's bringing community together, doing good, and we're so fortunate to be able to do it. So this week, a percentage of all sales of our store are going back to the NHA to support, and we're so happy to be able to do that.
And JJ, you also do a lot of activations in your stores, and you're opening more stores coming soon where you will also be activating. But if you want to explain a little bit about you touched on it before, the idea of the sisterhood, but really how you bring that to life, I think is quite interesting.
First of all, that's so great.
Thanks.
Awesome. VBG. Love that. We have done, since 2020, we've hosted over 250 spiritual events for people. They've all been for free. We don't have we're not super cash flush, so I found that I really wanted to have a philanthropic arm of the company that was giving something that we could easily do, which is giving people these experiences of raising their vibration. And it's been beautiful because not only are we, randomly during COVID, I discovered that the same person that was coming in for the printed blouse, et cetera, was like deeply interested in what is spirituality, what is consciousness, how do I get through the muck of my own emotions. They were really looking for information, and that was something that just came really naturally. And so that's been our give back, that's our service work. And we've done everything from, anytime I go to open a pop-up shop or inaugurate a new store, it's always connected with this kind of an activity. I'd much rather get somebody hooked on breath work than throw a cocktail party. And
breath work is very hard, by the way. I've done it because of JJ, and it's really hard work. I thought I would just be sitting there.
So that's part of it, is holding people's hands through it and, sort of helping them understand just how beneficial and amazing something like this is. And we used to have many of our sessions in the basement of our Milan store, which is dedicated to 5 different aspects of the Divine Mother. So you can go in there and find Isis from the ancient Egyptian mystery school, and Kali and Kuan Yin and Green Tara and Mother Mary. But now we've just opened up a new space in Milan. It's a 6-story building, which is where all of our employees are working. But at the very top, we have what we've deemed the galactic deck. And it's takeoff time, and there's a gong temple there. So I had we have this whole roster and community of healers that we work with internationally. Myra is sitting front row. She is our crystal guru expert. We've got a healer for whatever you need. So if you have any questions, you let us know. But we're doing a lot of the activity on the Gong Temple, and we're opening up other spaces. And yeah, wherever we travel. So we just had this 2-day trunk show here, and then we did 2 days of 15 different energy activations that were all given for free to the community here.
Next is Aspen.
That's
I
wonderful.
think, and then
Next.
move it. Yeah, you have a whole roster. So I wanted to switch. Obviously, now we've established that I think that fashion and design, something that people often think of as quite exclusive, is actually you guys are really nice. Who knew? But I wanted to switch gears a little bit to talk about something that people also don't associate that much with the fashion world, which is color. None of you are afraid of using color in very bold ways. And, I think...
Even though today
yes,
we're a little bit...
we're in a very cream. This is unusual. But I think, I think that's something, yes, we can see JJ's world here. Yeah. And I think, color is something that transcends fashion. Obviously, you can bring it into your home. It's something that can be used in, when you're designing your own spaces. And you design your retail spaces each quite differently, I think. But I was just curious about how you work with color. I think, Silvia, maybe you have something to say about like gemstones and finding the right stones.
The first moment we began to sell in the United States was with the Market Recollection. And it bloomed because of the color. Because in the past I used to make more metals, diamonds, and stones. But the moment we start using woods with color, and it's a special technique we develop it in the market where we boil the wood with special elements that changes the colors of the wood.
And does everybody know what marquetry is? We all, yeah.
So we can't, I always tell the people in the market release, you always realize my dreams, because if I want a scene, if I want the collection we did for the vault this year, based on hydrangeas and roses, so we can make it in wood, in colored wood. So our dreams become true. Whatever idea I have, I can represent with this work whatever I want. So I think color is everything. It's very alive, and it's a vibration.
Yeah.
When you use something with color, your vibration changes. And
I know everyone here is a good ad for this today, but I think often in big cities we often rely on a beige or a black, or in our homes we stay very safe. But you both also work with color in a very vibrant way, both in the stores and in your own designs. What drew you to that?
I think you're the queen.
Yeah,
so
you're
you
the
should go
queen of
first.
color.
Well, you guys, it's so funny. When I open my closet, it's become such a car crash of color that I literally came in maybe 2 years ago to the design team, and I was like, we need to start doing solids. It's so overwhelming. So we actually do black now. This is black lace, actually, and we do a lot of more muted things, because what I realized with color is, first of all, it is sensationally powerful. Just as you were saying, color has a frequency.
Totally.
Your chakra system, which is your invisible energy centers that you're working vertically here, they each have a color associated with them. Different colors have different healing properties. When you tap into that, just like when you're using, we were just talking about your incredible stones on your ears, you can use the stones you have. Please, all of you ladies who are sporting some incredible stone on your left finger here, take it off sometimes and place it on your third eye when you're laying down meditating. That is a total energy antenna. You have a whole rocket ship right there on your finger.
Wait, who knew?
You didn't know, exactly. And same with, hey, I need to feel grounded today. Wear red. That's your root chakra. That is connecting you to Panchamama. It's getting you down in there. You can use color very intentionally. So the blues, a lot of people are using blue, in bedrooms. It's a very calming color. It's a very soothing. It's the blues are actually, the light blue is here in the throat chakra, the darker blue here, but it's a lot of that higher frequency of just the angelics, the sky, the sea. So you can really start to use color intentionally in your life. And women, as you said, and men and everyone and all genders, they really respond to it. So it's beautiful to, and it also sells really well online, don't you think?
Really
Veronica?
sure does.
Okay, so there's a business reason for color, guys.
Yeah.
It's pink and blue.
Yeah, pink and blue. We have a lot of color in our collection. I'm laughing because we went through quiet luxury in fashion for a while, right? And so that was a lot of solids. We became a little bit print adverse at Veronica Beard for a little bit, and it is so joyful. It is so beautiful. I think color, you do have such a frequency with color, and it does sell very well. And I think that we hear from women all the time, fashion is about expressing yourself. And I think, for us, a lot of times we hear from women, oh, I would never have worn that orange suit until you made it. And then I put it on and I felt like, $1 million. And so there is so much power in getting dressed, so much power in color and prints.
Wait, what's the best-selling color? Now I need to know.
Actually,
is there a single?
For us, I'm not a pink person, but if anything that we make in pink is gone.
Oh, wow.
In a second.
Do you also feel like that?
We do all the colors.
Yeah,
I was going to say, and you do too.
Green.
Okay, green for jewelry.
But I want to tell you, it's so funny. I'll never forget Matches Fashion when they were still alive. They were
The
an
online
early
retailer,
supporter.
yeah.
They were
Yes.
an early supporter of us. And I'll never forget when we started doing a lot of green and they were like, green doesn't sell. And I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
We're doing it. Like, and really women responded to it. And the thing about color and about pattern and print, and you guys don't have this problem because I see a lot of it out there, but a lot of women, when you go into other circles, especially Paris, or certain pockets of Europe, they really armor up with the black. They really armor up with the beige, with the white. And what that does is it can make you invisible. And that's okay for those moments. Like, again, use your color intentionally. Because when you're wearing color and when you're wearing pattern, you will get noticed, you will be seen. And so I always tell women, if they don't like color and they don't like pattern, what is their relationship with being seen in general? Because it's something that like should be very, we all go through, especially women, we're experts at our cycles of life and emotions, and when we need to be more introverted and when we can be extroverted. And so the color is that celebration of stepping out and being seen. It's like
So
your incredible
interesting.
hydrangea.
Have you had your colors done?
Like when I was 12.
Okay. Wait, so
I don't remember what
I'm
they were.
fascinated by that. And there was somebody on this island a few days ago doing colors, and I couldn't get there to do it. But
Wait, like you're like a winter or spring?
Yes.
Like, oh my God, that would be
no, and it's a
amazing.
real thing.
That's amazing.
But I think that honestly, intuitively, you put something on and
Yeah.
it's like, whoa, you put something else on and you're shining. It should be, I mean, go get your colors done if you want, but
Yeah.
really trust your own
Yeah.
internal, intuitive clock on
And then
that.
I'm curious, of course, we're at Nantucket by Design. I'm curious how this connects to design. Veronica told me this morning this incredible fact that I did not know, that each of the stores is designed in a different, they're each unique and distinct. So how do you go about designing those spaces and then your own personal spaces? Because you were saying that they were designed somewhat like residential.
Yeah,
you know.
our stores are all each are totally individual. So a lot of brands will have fixture packages, and you'll walk into a store and you could be in New York or LA or
I mean,
here.
many brands have that because they almost seek to do that,
Yeah.
to make a uniform experience.
and
It
I
becomes
think-
a little Starbucks or something.
Yeah, it does. And I think for me, I love interiors. I think if I wasn't in fashion, I would definitely work in the interiors world. And so when we were at a point where we could start to open stores, having that physical manifestation of space to house our collection, and we'd been a big brand for department stores, but at the department store level, you're given a little pad on the floor, and there's no vibe, and there's no you sell your clothes, and that's great, but to be able to like show who you are, I think that when you go into someone's home, the music that's playing, the candle that's burning, the vibe in the store, the art that they like, and the prints on their fabrics, or maybe they don't have prints, but that's all that you can tell so much about a person. And so I think for us, each of the stores have been very specific to the location, and we just opened, for instance, in Aspen, and it's amazing. Well, our store design team is incredible. One of my dearest friends, Carolina, designs all of our stores. She is incredibly creative, and her team's incredibly creative, and I work with them a lot on the stores. And Aspen, just the reaction to Aspen is one of those things where you're like, God,
And
we
tell
nailed
us a
it.
little what-
Just like,
yeah.
it's beautifully done, but it like, you walk in and the customer just gets it. The collection looks so good there. It just hits sort of like all the parts, and that's like such a win.
Are there any pieces in there that you especially love, or is it very Aspen looking?
It's different than any of our stores, and it's interesting. Like, I think because I have ADD, I have to change constantly. So every store, we kind of evolve a little bit every year, and that's really fun. I think that just being able to change and being excited about trying new things keeps it really fresh for us. The store has so many good pieces. I can't even. Great art, great pieces of furniture, beautiful finishes.
And what do you bring from your design work into your own homes?
Yes, it's kind of an evolution because I have passed through many phases in my life. And my first store was all brown, all dark, and nobody entered because I don't know why. And then I found a company in Brazil, the name Future Brands, that they study the brand for like 6 months. They talk with every people inside the company, and they have a group of architects, they create an architecture for the place. So we did like an atelier in Brazil, and I think the place where you work, where you create, the process of creation it's very important. So I have my incense every day. I go to my room. I have it's all light now. It's all made with sustainable materials, with bamboo, with light materials. So we made our store the same way as the office, and it changed it completely in Brazil. And now we repeat this environment because I think this is the environment we stay all day long. So it has to be light, it has to be a good vibe. So I think the architecture is very.
Have you never met before?
We've never met.
I feel like this was meant to be.
Sisters.
Well, you can see also JJ's spaces here. So you talked a little bit about your the town, the sort of, what is it, the starship? What do you call it in Milan?
It's the Galactic.
Sorry,
the temple.
Yes.
But and you know, one thing that's so important for me is just being very multidimensional. So I'm an American. I'm from Los Angeles. I bring California to Italy. We fuse it. Everything we make is 100% made in Italy by the most exceptional artisans. Almost all of our fabrics are made in Lake Como. There's a few other, like jersey knits that they don't do, which we do in other parts of Italy. All of our porcelain is made in Verona with 18 karat gold trim. All of our glass is hand blown in Murano. It is so fundamental to me that we are honoring these incredible craftsmen and keeping traditions alive in Italy because so many people have moved to China. And I think one thing that's also part of our Raise Your Vibration ethos is a fair price for luxury, because so many luxury brands have gone so outrageous on the pricing. And our silk mill, the one who's running all of our silks, I mean, you go in there and they're running Vuittons, Dior's, and Pucci's right next to Double J. And that's such an honor to know that, like, we have that quality of fabrication at a very good, I would say, fair price, you know? So that's really important to me. That doesn't have to do with interiors, but really it's about the Italianness. So like in my home, I've got Murano glass all over the place because I collect that. I've always collected vintage. So it's always been really important for me to have a very layered approach so that it's not cookie cutter and it's not just one thing. And our stores, you've seen some of these, it's like what Veronica was saying. I think that a cookie cutter approach is like not appealing. The reason why a lot of people do that also is because it's much less
Cost effective.
expensive. Exactly. You know, once you can sort of make 400 of the same chair, you know, you've got a better thing going. So it really does take a lot more for us, especially I'm a smaller brand than you are. It takes a lot for us to make each one as a one-off, but it's such a important thing, as you said, to like feel that you're in a curated space. So Milan is all, you know, each of ours has a kind of an intention from a vibration standpoint. So in Milan, you have the Divine Mother Cave and all the artwork there and the lotus petals on the ceiling. And then in Palm Beach, you have the chakra print that's on the ceiling and everywhere. And then Dallas, which we're opening in a couple months, that'll be an eclipse thing. You're going to have all these embroideries there. So it's really beautiful to be able to just like layer on different aspects in your stores.
Yeah, and I think it's so interesting that each of you bring so much of yourself to your brands. It's really an extension of your personal styles, but also each of you are honoring traditions, as you mentioned. I mean, you can see it. It's so evident in the expression of each brand. I think that's something that really stands out.
I think if you're not doing that, you shouldn't be in business today because there's too many products out there.
Well, I mean,
right?
it
Like,
is so interesting.
There's so many things.
To
And
have
so,
3 women who run, such vibrant businesses is, really incredible. And it is interesting what you're saying, because in a creative space, there are so many voices and so many people trying to express themselves that how do you stand out, which I think you're answering.
yeah, I mean, and this is so true. We all have to remember we're all creator beings. All of you are creative. Putting dinner together is a creative act. Speaking any words to anyone is a creation. So use that as a guiding principle for you. And also what's so important is like each of us needs to just bring intention to our creations and then really find out what it is that gets us excited. What do we get so joyful about? Because that is what your unique gift is that wants to come out.
I totally agree with that.
This is truly the most important thing. And so when you're looking around and you're just copying others, it's then you won't be in the creative flow. You will be in the creative flow once you look inward and once you understand what it is that like gets you jazzed up. And then how do you bring that out? And then how do you be of service with that? That's what I've found really works.
And
I
I
love the
think
flow.
it's very important that in my business, in a way, the business is dependent on me because I tell the stories. I tell the whole circle. Once I wrote, for instance, a marketed earring takes 100 hands that it passes since the conception of
why.
the earrings until the end. So we have to talk about what we do. That's why I travel, I go to all the trunk shows. I like to talk with my clients to explain the value of this, the energy that this piece has because it passes through many, many hands. So I hope in the future, my sons, Andre,
No pressure. No pressure. Don't worry. You're fine.
keep on doing this, because it's important to send this message, what we do, with love, because I think love, it's everything.
Okay, and since you said that making dinner is a creative act, I need to ask, each of you are incredible hosts. Is there any sort of thing that you always do or always rely on when you're welcoming people to your home? Are there any
What's your
ways?
hack,
Yeah.
My hack, I think playlists and lighting. I mean, I'm a terrible cook. So I wish.
Me too.
I have a friend who always says she's a terrible cook,
ordering
but she
pizza,
orders well.
And I will literally set the table and do the flowers and have the music and have all the stuff.
Yeah.
It'll all look good, but I mean, I could be serving you McDonald's. Maybe. No, I can cook some things. But I think ambiance, and I think, again, just vibe and it's...
Is there anything that you always do when you're here on Nantucket that's...
I mean, we do. Well, you know what? I feel like Nantucket's so amazing because it's very social. So I wish I wish I could say that we were at home more. But there's so many amazing people that we're meeting and we're seeing, and I have a lot of work stuff. My most favorite thing is just beach nights with my kids, and like getting there at 5 and staying till 8 and going to sleep at 9 is kind of like the most perfect day for me. So I would say like pizza in a box or a sandwich at the beach with my family.
I know it's funny that that's like the ultimate luxury at the end of the day is just to have like some family time and a sandwich on the beach. So, but JJ, you're an amazing hostess.
Well, I could make salad when I moved to Italy 24 years ago, and I discovered they didn't have any takeout food.
Oh, yeah.
So
you had to
they
learn.
only had pizza, and this was also a long time ago. It was like before everything kind of changed. A lot has changed. So I was forced to cook, learn how to cook, and I used to take cookbooks to bed and read them like novels. Oh my gosh. and I took a few cooking classes, but what I really realized about cooking, and this is what the Italians taught me, is that you don't follow a book. You need to follow what is going on in your body. And it really can be an incredible creative act if you're really connected to it. Of course, I've messed up.
So when
a
you
lot
burn
of other
something,
times,
it's
too.
also a creative act.
It
I'll be
really
like,
is. But I get into the flow of cooking the way I almost get into the flow of like working with patterns, etc. But I will say that I learned so much about great entertaining from the Italians because they have the style of the French, but they're nicer. And they are so forgiving. And they don't care if you don't speak the language well. And they don't care if you're late. And they don't care if you bring 5 friends to dinner. So what I've realized is that dinners actually can never be seated affairs at home. They need to be buffets because everyone's going to bring 3 guests. And there will always, it's always the more the merrier. And the Italians taught me so much about just like making it look really chic and just relax and let the universe take over.
And is that like Brazil?
Yes, I am not a very social person, and everything happens in my atelier. And when I arrive at home, I build like a Japanese apartment for me because I love Japan. It's very zen. It has nothing, has any, almost only Japanese objects. And when my grandsons enter my apartment, they love it because they feel the difference of environment, you know, between the office and the house. And I don't cook. I don't cook anything. I order also.
This is my favorite. I love that everyone's like, just no cooking. Well, you can't do it.
But you know,
too much.
it's more than the environment of my house than the food, you know, that attracts the people.
But that is so interesting. That is like the power of design, right? I mean, that shows you it's really about, you know, these different elements that you pull together and then the way in which we all enjoy it, and then less about the sort of that it's done perfectly, exactly so. I was also curious about any discoveries that you each may have made while you've been on Nantucket. Are there any secrets? I'm sure this audience knows everything, but are there any favorite spots?
I have one. Annabelle. Okay, so Mary's courses in all of the arts, you guys, if you're here and you're not like booked the entire time, and she's probably booked solid, but the art classes here are like 1800 house are so, first of all, I mean, Mary is like the most incredible creative woman in the world. She knows every art that has ever existed on this island.
Wow.
You can go, is she here? No. She, I mean, where is she?
You can keep gushing then. She's here.
I'm gushing
She's not here.
because literally, like, I have a crush on her. I love her so much.
Yeah.
And you can make sailors' valentines. You can do scrimshaws. You can do Nantucket baskets. You can do bracelets. You can do the dyeing the fabrics, the boxes. I mean, there's so many incredible arts on this island, and to be able to do them here is my favorite thing. Like, if I could do that once a week, it would be the greatest thing.
I want.
You'll love it.
Yeah,
It's
I want to
amazing.
know. I
It's
have
really
time
incredible. Yeah, you
this
should
way.
do it. Oh, good. Okay, where'd you get
You
that?
heard it here first.
Also, I want to plug a couple of the people that I've met and their places here. One is the Copper Rose. Have you heard of
yeah.
it? The esoteric
shop.
shop. So Lydia, whatever you want to call that, the mystery,
Mystical store.
the mystical shop. Lydia is the owner, and she is selling a lot of different accoutrements, instruments of all kinds. But she's also doing readings, and she was giving people aura readings and psychic readings yesterday that were really helpful to people. So that's one thing. And then the other place where Marla brought us was Greater Light, which is such a special, very high frequency, secret garden. And we were there with all the healers the first night. So there was like maybe 13 or 14 of us there. And, you know, we were all sitting in circle, kind of meditating, kind of going, you know, into doing our sort of woo-woo stuff. And the energy was so powerful. And those 2 sisters that built that house, their spirit is definitely alive there. So that's definitely, and you've got activities going on this week there, no?
There's some pop-ups for Nantucket by Design and Greater Light. You have to go see it.
So go check out
So
that.
yeah, Greater Light pop-ups.
Sisters
Yeah.
doing a really cool.
And do you have any favorite
Hi,
places
for
to
me, my
visit?
favorite place to go is to go to Sconset to see the houses.
Yes.
You know, that little street, it's amazing. Just to be there outside looking at those little, and I think the houses in Nantucket, when I was a child, I used to draw the little houses with the fences, with the flowers, the real house in our unconscious. I think the Nantucket represents this for me, you know, a house, inside house. So it's beautiful.
Amazing.
And one other thing I need to just commend you all on, the flowers, the plants,
Yeah.
the
Oh, I know.
trees, the grass. There is so much care and so much love and happiness
Yeah.
literally bursting
sure.
out of the earth here. It's incredible.
It's incredible.
It's incredible.
I have never seen a place
It's
like
so
this.
happy. Your hydrangeas, like what are they?
I know. There is something in
I
the
just
soil
want to
here.
remind you how remarkable it is.
But it
because
is, I
for an
think-
outsider, it's very
Yeah,
exciting.
I think the sense of place and history and craft that sort of underpins everything in Nantucket is, I mean, you all know this already, but it really does imbue this island with some kind of magic that you were touching on. But I think it really, you know, there is such a sense of connectivity and sense of place here. And I think that is not by chance. That is because there are safeguards of the history and, you know, you can interact with nature, but also be with your family and, you know, still feel like what this island is all about. So it's, you know, it's a very unusual place.
And I think the world is so crazy nowadays. And here's a sanctuary.
Yeah.
You forget about everything because you see so much beauty all around that I think it's a real sanctuary, the place. Yeah.
And we're going to have some time for questions from the audience. So I hope that everybody has something ready. And I guess I just wanted to ask you guys about, well, you said your favorite places already, but I don't know if there's any favorite like keepsakes from Nantucket that you always would recommend. I guess you have the basket, which I think is.
Well,
I mean,
I
the
think we all need
baskets
one of
are really
these.
incredible.
I
I
mean,
think we all need one of these. This is so great.
This is very special. This is my three birds represent my three. I have three sons too.
Ah, okay. The
So
three girls.
3 boys.
Three. You
I have
have.
three
I have 3 boys too.
No, I think these baskets are so quintessential. But there's so many special things here. I mean, even the honey here is good. You know, there's so many good special things.
Oh, that's so interesting. I wonder if the bees have like a different
They
sort of
must.
ecosystem that they're.
And the bottles that
Yeah.
it comes in is beautiful too.
Oh, amazing. All right, well, let's start questions from the audience. I see we have one right here. We'll wait for the mic.
Oh, hey. I have a question that came to mind. I'll aim it at JJ, but really it's for everyone. I know your company ethos is just so beautiful, and I understand, you know, it's obviously top-down vision, but I wonder if you've had any pushback or resistance, you know, along the way as you've scaled and grown and evolved.
My business partner is my ex-husband. Talk about a spiritual experience every day of coming back to center and grounding. I remember he was like, "Are we going to make any money with that?" And I was like, "I don't think so." And
You might want to explain quickly how you started.
so I used to be a journalist. So that's how Elisa and I know each other. We both worked at many magazines for a long time. And I was collecting vintage for many years. I started in New York at the Chelsea flea market when everything was like $20. It was amazing. And so I had this huge trove of vintage clothing and jewelry. And that's how I started Double J, selling it and showing it on all the creative women that our bosses didn't want to write about because they weren't advertisers. So like back in the day, it was sort of like my job was only to interview Giorgio Armani, Donatella,
Ralph Lauren.
Well, no, because he
Diego
was in
Della
New York. I
Valle.
was in Milan.
Yeah.
So it was sort of like
all the Italians.
Diego Della Valle. Like those were the people I had to interview, and I
Well,
really
wait a
wanted
second.
to
They also only wanted to be interviewed by JJ. So,
no, but no,
yes, it
so-
started in this idiosyncratic way.
Yeah,
and
of
then
showing
to
all these
now-
women. And then so this is also kind of what I really invite people to think about is that, like, I just started from a passion that I was obsessed with, this vintage, and I was obsessed with the Italian women. And I was like, let's put them together. And everyone was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, just go with what you're obsessed with, because that will put your unique signature, your energy signature, whatever you're obsessed with, has power.
And I think you each started with sort of a very identifiable piece, like almost like a hero piece. And you had found the vintage fabric in Como, and you were making the dress silhouettes that are still available today. But I think in terms of challenges, I would imagine that you each almost face like daily challenges. Yes. Yeah. And you've scaled to a very large business, basically from one, it all started with one blazer, no?
One
Yeah.
Our jacket, yeah.
Yeah. I remember when that launched.
Yes.
Yeah.
It did. And, I think that still the Dickie jacket, which is what it's called, is one of our hero pieces. And I think, to your point, having that vision, having passion for it, having flow for that is the true line that runs through your brand. And I always say, it's like you need to sort of wear blinders on a little bit and focus on what you're doing, because if you look out too much, then you do sort of, oh, they're doing this, or should I be doing that, or whatever. And I think you do, anytime that we've done that, I think we lose our way a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, we have daily struggles.
Well, I was going to say, for each of you, since each of you are so much the essence of the brand, what I would imagine might be most difficult is also how do you have your hands in everything as you grow, as you have different stores, as you're traveling? How do you still communicate like what you want and what you want the brand to be when the brand is growing so much?
Yeah, this is a big problem, because when you grow, you have to hire people that thinks like you. And the people doesn't think like me because they are different. They have different backgrounds. So I always have to come back to my source. And of course, everything that this team of designers, I participate since the beginning, approve or not approve. But I cannot hold the business in me, because I have a limited time. So I want the business to be keeping on like I like. But I always talk with the people and try to communicate.
So communication and culture,
yes, culture
would be, maybe the most important. I think we had another question here.
Thank you. I get so much inspiration on design from travel. Can you each talk about trips you've taken, sort of how you orchestrate sort of a cadence of travel in your life, interesting places you've been recently that were great sparks for ideas?
Yeah, I'm actually going to New York on Tuesday to speak at a travel and leisure conference about travel, women in travel, and my travel now is almost entirely based on sacred sites.
Wow.
So last year I went through Scotland just visiting sacred sites.
Just follow JJ and you'll have endless
Yes,
inspiration.
Oh my God, secrets.
I co-host a trip in Egypt with a trained high priestess to take people through the ancient Egyptian mystery school initiation. Bali is a super hotspot. Go on the off season where you can clear through and get yourself initiated in the water temples. They're phenomenal. Sedona, Arizona is a super hotspot. All of the valley, all of the canyons, the Antelope Canyon, all of those those are massive energy vortexes. Go with intention, go with your downloaded meditations you want to do. And seek out people that are doing these sort of like transcendental travel programs. Like I'm going right now to, at the end of July, I'll be going through Ireland and doing a whole Celtic mystery school as well.
Oh, wow.
So there's so many different ways you can access this. That's why I'm saying I come to Nantucket and it's like suddenly the healers pop out everywhere.
Right, out of the bushes, out of the hydrangeas.
Is there anywhere that you would say in Brazil that Americans?
In Brazil, we have like the Amazonia, but one of the most challenging places in terms of beauty I have been is islands of Socotra in Yemen.
Oh,
It's
wow.
an island that opened to the tourists before the year 2000. So only 30 people a day can enter the island. So I went there to see the dragon blood tree. There is one tree that has more than 600 years.
Oh, wow.
And the island has a valley with more than thousands of dragon blood tree. So it was such an experience, you know. We camped, no hotels.
Who did you choose to go with you?
My older son. I was in Dubai
You have to go with
taking
someone-
the
yeah.
vaccine. I have to wait a month to take the second shot. So
wow.
I said, I'm
So
going
this
to
trip
Socotra.
takes planning.
So it was like a mystical place, amazing.
And-
it was like a
Amazing.
quite experience.
And have you done any favorite family trips? Because that's a very
Yes.
specific.
We travel a lot for work, and I mean, I'm gonna go back to the team and be like, I need some spiritual trips by myself. But no, we travel a lot, and I think that the work trips are so amazing to really understand. Again, to go back to the customer, to really understand how these women live in all of these different countries. We were just in Paris, and we're opening a store in Paris, and just to be with women there and to see their response to the collection, and the collection for fall was called Left Bank, and it was inspired by a lot of like incredible vintage imagery and amazing French women and all these things, and to see how they respond to the collection was so interesting. And it's to go.
Did they accept the pattern?
They loved it. I mean,
good.
I was like, wow, this is. We didn't even tell them that it was called Left Bank until the end of the night, because I was like, oh God, what if they hate it?
An American. It's a very Veronica
but
in Paris.
we were in Seoul right before that, and realized, oh my gosh, we are not designing the right things for this market. And so you go back and we've modified and figured out how to design the collection better for their needs. Best trip that we took recently was with a bunch of our dear friends, 5 families, and we went to the Maldives on this surf trip.
Amazing.
And we were on this boat for 10 days, and it was amazing. Like, we were surfing on just remote islands in the middle of the water.
And wait, 10 days on the boat with 3 boys that didn't fight the whole time?
No,
They
we
good?
were 22
Okay, good.
people.
Wow.
And it was 5 families, and it was the most fun. And those moments when we're like totally off the grid and can do that is
So
amazing.
you have a long list now to get through. All right, so we have time for another. Should we go in the back there? Thanks.
First of all, this has been an amazing panel. I just have to say that, and it's been really inspiring. But I had a question that kind of relates back to quality, and I have to kind of aim it towards Veronica because I'm a huge fan of your clothes, and I know that whenever a piece of your clothes comes, it will have all of those details, the snaps, the tucks, everything that makes that piece fit. And every time I get a piece, I ask myself, when are they going to have to start cutting this out?
We're not.
Yeah, and I wonder just kind of your philosophy on that, sort of that internal push to cut costs and how that has affected your businesses over time. All
Well,
of you.
the
I'm sorry, it
tariffs-
wasn't just directed to Veronica.
The tariffs haven't been great. That has been a recent struggle. But for us, after customer, number one thing is fit and quality. And the loyalty is really about how you feel, but about fit and quality that we've found with our customers. So I think that all of those details are really important. Veronica and I are moms. We have 8 kids between the two of us. She has 5 kids. And we're all about like life on the go, and you got to be able to hail a cab, and your skirt can't be up here, and it's got to be lined the right way, and you got to get out the door and live life and do your thing. So that quality is not going anywhere as long as I'm still there, Veronica's still there, or anybody really on our senior team is still there. And it's very important to us. So I hope that answers the question.
And each of you, I mean, you work with craftsmen as well, so you're,
Yes.
that's
This
very
is
much
like a
woven into the brand.
experiment every time, because as I work with the alternative materials, it's when you mix it with golden stones, it becomes a real problem, a real challenge. So we have to test almost a year before launching the market, you know.
Oh, wow.
Of them, yeah.
Amazing. I think we have one more question here, and then, yeah.
So I was just curious about each of your creative process, and I love this idea of sort of finding a nugget and having no idea, like Sylvia, when you were talking about the flowers, like I imagine those flowers will stay with you, and maybe it's that or something else that you could talk us through, how that object sort of, you know, all the threads that it went through to eventually come into something that just, you know, because of how it sort of entered your like creative bank. So not necessarily those flowers, but maybe just a story of how you found something and what it ended up becoming and through that journey. Maybe it's years later.
I have so many stories about it.
You have to get her after. Well, the butterfly is a motif
The
that returns.
butterfly was
Yeah.
in Amazonia, was with a bunch of butterflies. So let's make, but for instance, in bamboo, when I went to Japan, I saw like the basketry. Why don't I want to make an earring from basketry? So it's a big challenge, you know, because you have to stay with the artisan. Sometimes you find a lot of resistance by them, but then it's possible if you insist and if you test. That's what the challenge that I like, you know.
And then everything you see, I
mean,
think,
yeah,
sort of
there's a lot.
enters. Yeah, we'll see the room.
We have tons of
yeah.
homeware that's just like covered with the patterns of Italian churches, and
Each of the home
frescoes.
pieces have like a
there's
significance as well for
tons.
both of you. I mean,
Yeah.
your
Naples,
pieces.
Sicily, and then we also had a collection that was all dedicated to Egypt and my travels there.
Me
that-
too. I did a collection.
It's so powerful.
I see a collaboration in the future.
Yeah.
And
I'm
then
glad
this,
this happened.
yeah, and the jewelry that we're doing now, like this necklace has a Shen loop, and that's a very sacred, powerful symbol of protection. Here we have a scarab. You know, there's lots of different ways where what I'm working on energetically and spiritually then comes, like I try to anchor it down. And then we just have like fun things that say raise your vibration or divine, or, you know, things like that that are lighter.
and then you have a lot of sort of American elements. You were
Yeah, I mean, I think since I was
you were raised on the
Yes,
West
and
Coast, yeah.
you know, just to go back to sort of like passion and whatever, people always ask, but, you know, since I was a little girl, like 4 years old, this has been my dream. And I just sort of followed this path down. And, you know, and there's definitely times in my life that I can look at, oh my gosh, that was having me choose this direction over that direction. And I feel so lucky to be able to do this. I love it so much. I feel so passionate about it. And I love American style. I love American history. And I'm, you know, very excited about it. I think we're just getting started and we're 15 years in.
Well, that
Bravissimo.
couldn't be a better place to stop. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So inspiring.
Alyssa, thank you very much. JJ, Veronica, Silvia, this was amazing. I think the audience would rather sit here for another hour. It was great.